Hi, I'm Kelly Davis with Kellen Computer Services, and today I'd like to talk to you about internet security. It's really important that you implement some really good security on any of the computer systems that you use, because today more than 9 million people are affected by identity theft according to the Federal Trade Commission. I believe that the numbers could be higher, but still nonetheless you don't want to become an identity theft victim. And I'm going to help you learn a few basics that you can implement to avoid these situations. So number one, first and foremost, if you're getting on the internet, you're literally plugging that little blue wire into a place where there are billions of other people. So now if you take that margin and figure out how many bad guys are out there trying to get into your computer system, there's quite a lot of them. And if you're not ready for these people who have the ability to bulk scan millions of computers in a very short amount of time, then you're really just asking for trouble. So here's the first thing. I would recommend that you get a really good internet security suite that has an antivirus, anti-spyware, anti-malware, and a firewall. And one of the new infections that we're going to be learning about sometime in the future will become prevalent is ghostware. But we're not going to talk about ghostware today, but I just want to make you aware that there is another ware out there that's coming. So be prepared. So anyway, some of the things you need to learn once you have a good antivirus, spyware, malware, internet security suite installed on your computer is making sure that you keep it up to date and that you scan every couple of weeks. I would try to get in that habit. We'd recommend people scanning at least once or twice a week. We at the office here try to scan almost every other day. We make sure that all of our software is up to date and that we're using paid software. Free is a four-letter word in this business. You can get something for free, but is it really going to do the job that you need it to do, and can you trust it? Will it fail? Will it not update automatically? Will it not actively protect you from an online infection when you go to a certain website by accident? You don't know if that's an infectious website or not. And these websites will just dump things onto your computer. And if you don't have a really good protective software package, then you're basically just putting yourself at risk. And we don't want to see you. I hate cleaning computers. I really do. But we do it because it's necessary. It has to be done, and we have to help people learn how not to constantly become victims to the internet. So, one of the big ways that people are losing access to their information and giving people access, people who shouldn't have access, to your personal financial information, maybe into your PayPal or into your eBay, is via email. They send emails out and they dress up that email to look exactly like a legitimate email from, let's say, PayPal or eBay or some other website from your bank. These websites are constant, these hackers are constantly sending you links that look like the link is going to go to your legitimate source, but it's not. It's going to their website. And when you use your username and login information, username and password, to get into that website, what they do is they will track the first attempt and it will kick back to you and say it was a mistake. So naturally we're thinking, oh, I just typoed, let me type it again. Well, what they do at that point is when you click the submit button, they are not only grabbing your username and password so that they can now log into your account, but they are also then redirecting you, unbeknownst to you, to the real PayPal or eBay or your bank account website. So they know where you're supposed to be, and you just don't know really where you are. And so that's how they grab that information out of that email link. They're looking for you to log into that account to address an issue that they presented to you in the email, whether it's a fraud alert, someone's spending money, a fake credit card transaction, a parking ticket, or some crazy situation that you need to respond to immediately via that email. Well, do not click through your email links, of course, because they're dangerous and they can be potentially. Now, everybody becomes a victim. I've done it myself one time. I got a eBay email, and I'm not thinking, logged in, and sure enough, boom, it happened. But thankfully I was able to catch it very quickly and was able to change my password in time before anything else had transpired. So it's really tough to stay on top of these things because they are swift and they move fast as lightning, and if you're not really paying attention, they will take advantage. You may think that you're not important enough to these hackers. Well, guess what? To them you are. You're an identity in another country potentially, here in the United States, and they can become you. Well, you may not be worth becoming because of your financial situation or whatever. You may think, oh, I don't have anything that's important to them. Well, yes, you do have something that's important, and you don't want to give that up. And you are responsible for protecting your identity. There is nobody else out there responsible for it but you. And you need to really take active steps in making sure that you never let your online internet security suite expire. It's so vital that you make sure that you don't let it expire for one day even, because that quickly it stops working. Just because the icons are down in your lower right hand corner doesn't mean they're actively protecting you if you have not paid for it. So please pay for that yearly service. It's kind of like keeping a tune-up on your car. If you don't tune it up all the time, you can end up with more costly repairs. And a similar situation here. You do need to pay that yearly fee. Get accustomed to it and just pay it, because it will pay off in the long run. You will have a happier and better computer experience when you do so. Now, when you're out surfing the internet and you want to make purchases online, some of the key things that you want to pay attention to is in the top left-hand corner is your address bar. And you want to make sure that when you're putting in any vital information, name, address, credit card number, is that it says HTTPS, and you'll also see a correlating lock on the lower right hand corner in the website somewhere, letting you know that that is a secure website. Now, the only way that that link is not secure is if you personally have an infection on your computer. If your computer is infected, all the information you type into that secure website is going to go out the other side, potentially in an email, to the people you don't want to have it. So be real careful when you're out there. If you do have an infection on your computer, you need to deal with it immediately, and maybe get hold of a computer professional like myself to give you a hand to make sure that your computer is clean and safe to do online transactions. Now, let's say you do figure out that you do have an infection. You cannot get an antivirus or spyware protection installed to help remove those infections. The first thing you should do is not change usernames and passwords using that computer. I've seen this happen many times with customers. They'll get excited and panic-stricken, and they immediately go and try to fix the problems. They'll go into their Facebook and change their passwords. They'll go into their Yahoo and change their password, or Google, or Gmail and Hotmail. Well, guess what? All you're doing is giving the new password right back to the hackers, and they're going to just log in with a smile on their face and think it's kind of funny and silly. And we don't want to give them that opportunity to continually take advantage of us. So get off that computer. You can go to a library or go to a friend's house, scan that computer first. Make sure the software is updated before you run the scan, and then fix your problem. Take your computer to a professional and have them look at it and help you out with it. Because all you're going to do is keep on recirculating the problem, and you will not resolve it. Identity theft is a major problem today. The world has not yet seen the crisis that's coming, and the amount of information that's being gathered from each individual is enormous. And the last thing we want are the wrong people to have access to that information. So please be careful when you're traveling out there. I'm going to look at my notes real quick because I just want to make sure I get everything down today. It's really important. I want to make sure that I'm thorough in sharing my information and the things that I know. There are a lot of file sharing programs out there. You have LimeWire, BearShare, Aries. They've been around for a long time, the old Napsters. They've shut LimeWire down last I heard. I don't know if it's still out there or not. But these software packages are adware and carry a great potential for bringing infections into your computer. You have the torrents, BitTorrent, uTorrent. These, you don't know what you're getting. If you're not properly protected and you're using some free download from somebody, Ares or AVG, is it really protecting your computer? Are you keeping it up to date? Are you doing the right things to make sure that you're protected when you start downloading those movies or those music files or whatever the case may be? You know, do it legitimately. You know, get an iTunes account and pay them $1 for a song. I mean, it's not going to break us. But downloading bootleg stuff using these software packages, not only is the software potentially an infection from LimeWire and BearShare and some of the other ones, but you also are just bringing in a multitude of issues when you're downloading those free files from the internet. So using these software packages, so I'd just stay clear. When they come into the office and we find these software packages on a computer, we do remove them. So if you want them back, you have to do it. But remember this about your Internet Security Suite. It's really important. It will not protect you from yourself. If you tell it to go ahead and install LimeWire and install BearShare, basically what you're telling it to do is ignore the potential for infection, and you will infect yourself once again, even though you may have a good quality Internet Security Suite to protect yourself. So the software will not protect you from you. So you have to really step up and be aware that going out there and downloading these things for free come with great risk potential. If you like going to questionable websites and you find something that is extremely interesting to you, but the only way you can see that is by installing the software, the special software, in order to view that file. Well, guess what? That software 9 times out of 10, I'd say maybe 10 times out of 10, is an infection. Your computer basically has 99% of all of the software you will need to watch or hear music and video and watch videos on the internet. So there's really no need to download many special programs, although there are situations where you do need to. However, if you had a questionable website, I'd just stay away from any downloads, because the download itself is more questionable than the website itself. If you have a wireless, you know, Wi-Fi is the big thing today. We have Wi-Fi here and Wi-Fi there, and you can hook up to this Wi-Fi and that Wi-Fi. Well, it's really critical that you implement the security features on a router. They have the WPA and some of the other ones I can't think off the top of my head right now, but it doesn't matter. What that does is it secures the connection between you and the router, and making sure that other people cannot get access into your router. You know, implement the passwords on your router. Write them down, put them in your top dresser drawer or someplace safe, so that when you do have to go back into that router sometime in the future, which you will have to do, I guarantee you, you're going to want that username and password. So make sure you don't lose it, because you will have to get it again and use it for that matter. So, you know, implement wireless security. One of the other things that I do not do is I do not use hotspots. I just don't. I won't do it. I would rather use the 3G on my iPhone rather than bring my laptop and use a unsecured network where the encryption is not implemented and other people could potentially get my information. I just can't put myself at that kind of risk, nor can I put my customers at that kind of risk. You know, I can't afford to do such things. So it's really critical to not use hotspots. I don't like them. They may or may not be secure, but if you feel like taking the risk, I guess that's okay. But I hope that everything works well and that somebody does not gain access to your personal information. Anyway, that's my short internet security tips for today. Make sure you have some really good internet security suite. I keep doing that. I need to stop. And a good internet security suite. Make sure you don't click on links out of your email. Check to make sure that the HTTPS is in your top left-hand corner if you're making purchases or giving information into the internet. Secure your wireless. And don't use the same machine if you do get infected. Go change your passwords, usernames and passwords, or just standard passwords from another machine that you know is clean. It will help you a lot in the long run. Again, I'm Kelly Davis. You can visit my website at www.kellenpc.com. That's KELENPC for personalcomputing.com. We're glad you stopped by, and I hope you find this security tip helpful. Stay tuned because we'll have more tips and talking about how to repair your computer and other things you can do while surfing, building websites, search engine optimization tricks and techniques. If you need help, surely give us a call. Stop by our website and sign up for some of our services. We'd love to have you as a client. Take care.